redefine what you consider success. Is the fact that I don't have to watch my cattle and worry about having to go to a job success? To me, it is. Is it success that I can watch my grandchildren any time of day I want to? Yeah, that's my success. Is it success that I have people working for me right now, building a house? I'm here talking to you. Success to me. You work for yourself, so you don't have to work for the man. But all you've done is put yourself in a damn jail. You have just created a whole new job. Yep, job. That ain't what you wanted. More people think, well, I'm going to start my own business so I can be free. And that can be done. But if you look at yourself and you're working more than 40 hours a week, matter of fact, I don't even want to work 40 hours a week. Call me lazy, whatever it is. I want to do other things. What's that mean? Well, I remember one time I was actually stressed. It's been years ago. I had cattle and we had baby calves. And if you're out in the city, I understand. But basically, cattle, and the worst thing a farmer can do is your cattle, your assets are on the highway, possibly getting hit. So cattle today are running 3,000 a piece. You can't afford for your cattle to get hit. You can't afford for the insurance. But I'm out here. I see a baby calf out. I jump out and I'm going to work. But I'm out in the field in my work clothes, and these were dressed up. I had to wear a damn tie for 9 years straight. But anyway, I'm out there in the field trying to get this calf up. And the only thing I was worried about was being late to work. And quite honestly, that day, I remember that day very well. I said, this is so damn stupid. I should not have to worry about being late to work. If I own my own business, I own my own time. Well, if you're home and your kids are late to school, let's talk about your kids, and and you're stressed because you can't gotta be somewhere else, then you're tied to your job. And your job has to be your business. That's not a good feeling. I don't think so. You want to have the freedom to do what you want to do. Now, I'm not saying abandon your business. You got to put systems in place to make sure that your time's being free. You have to have people that you can count on. You have to empower those people to do the things that need to be done and not looking on you. We don't want you being the bottleneck. Hell, if you got a crew and they can't leave the shop because you haven't showed up yet, then you got a problem. Somebody has to be responsible for what's going on when you're not available, or maybe don't want yourself available. And that's the whole goal for me. I want you to be a CEO. We want to go out and look at other jobs, other businesses, and so forth. And that comes with time. But you got you got to take the freedom. Now, I don't work for that company no more. Been a long time, and I have a lot of freedom today that I would say most people don't. Someone told me there's a book out there, the 4-day work week or 4-hour work week, excuse me, and I said that's not real. I don't know if it's real or not. I think it's possible if you got the right place and the right people. People say, how much you work? Sometimes I only work 15 hours a week. And that sounds silly, but it's a fact. That doesn't mean I'm not doing anything. I'm doing something else. I like to make money, but maybe not the main business. The other business generating cash, well, I go do something else. I had a cousin one time. His motto was make a bean. Make a bean. What's that mean? He's always making money. He'd do all kinds of things. But I want you to make a bean, but I want you to make it with other people, not you. We want to free up your time. You got to create that real chain of command. I was talking to a client the other day. We were talking about his teams, and he's frustrated with getting good workers, keeping good workers, training good workers. I said, do you have one that you can trust that can be your foreman? Yeah. So we need to make him more responsible to free up your time so you can work on those dilemmas that employment starts. There's systems out there that I recommend, but I got to have you freed up to do those systems, create those systems, put them in place. The only way I can get you to do that is you got to turn other stuff over to somebody else. I talk about empowering people, and you got to create, and you call it decision filters, SOPs, state and operating procedures, if you know what that means. And if people got to make, you got to let them feel free to make a decision. You ever return anything from Amazon? I think Amazon has some great customer service. Walmart does too, and they probably got it from Walmart. Walmart used to be you take anything in, it doesn't matter. They just swap it. But they had the power to do it. They knew that it was okay. Now, that's been a long time ago, and some things have changed since then. People take advantage of that. But the point being is, you got to let your people know what they feel capable of doing. I tell mine, I just want you to make a decision. What are you going to do if I'm not here? All my working foremen I bring in, so listen, I want you to make a decision, right or wrong or indifferent. You're making a decision. If I don't like that decision, I will let you know how to handle it next time. And then what I need to do is put that into an SOP in writing so that when we're training people, those things come up. On forms, we're creating forms, getting stuff out of my head and you get stuff out of your head on paper to help others follow along. I love checklists. I'm a checklist king. And I got that from somebody else a long time ago. Maybe even my dad, because you go to his house, you look on the table. You want to know what dad's doing? Look on the table because there's a list there. That being said, get that stuff out of your head. And once it's there, it's not done. Why? Because you might think something needs to happen. I've had vendors call me before and ask a question. What did they mean by this? And I realized that the form we created missed a few things. So what we do, we went and added back to that form. But you got to be able to foolproof, even if I need a checklist sometimes. There's so much stuff out there that I have to remember. It's not fair to me. And if you can't remember, how's it going to be fair to your people? So create that filter, whatever it is, to make a decision, to answer a question, and so forth. Talk about decision-making leadership, freeing up time, kind of like me in a diet, where I got to write food down. Everything goes in your mouth. You write it down. Be aware. Well, in the same case, I want you to write down everything you do in a day. Everything. And then pick out the ones you hate to do and assign them to somebody else. Well, they talk about one man's trash, another man's treasure. Well, in this case, one man's task, another person's wheelhouse. They're going to be able to do it a lot better than you can. And if you don't like it and they do, that's great. If you're hiring them people like we talk about in other podcast episodes where you're doing an evaluation of personality, you'll know who best give that task to. They like that type of stuff. And then there's things on that list that you make. Those are the top 5. Get rid of those things. But you take that same list, say, okay, go about it slow. You can go faster if you want, but quite honestly, if you got to train somebody, get rid of a task a month. I need to do less of this. And I need to give it to so and so. And I need to make sure they understand. It might even take you a month to get everything out of your head that you're doing now on a piece of paper or in a form. Have a Google Doc that has all your SOPs on, whatever it is, however you want to set it up. But that way you can get it out of your head, get that person trained on it. And it might take 2 months, but that's okay. Because at the end of those 2 months, imagine what it feels like not to have to do that anymore, that you got somebody you can depend on taking care of it. Lastly, you almost got to redefine what you consider success. Is the fact that I don't have to watch my cattle and worry about having to go to a job success? To me, it is. Is it success that I can watch my grandchildren any time of day I want to? Yeah, that's my success. Is it success that I have people working for me right now, building a house? I'm here talking to you. Success to me. I haven't even seen this house. I will sooner or later. They like to send me pictures because I like looking at pictures. The point being is I don't have to be there. You don't either. If you set up your systems, establish your people, and empower them. Well, let's run through that real quick here. We're going to have a real chain of command. Who are you going to hold responsible? You got to create those filters, those decision filters, checklist, whatever it is. You got to have systems in place that people can make decisions and feel empowered, that it's not going to get them in trouble. You got to find those 5 tasks that you hate, get rid of them as soon as you can. That's just a downer. On that same list that you're writing down things you're doing, make a plan to get rid of one a month, one every 2 months, whatever it takes. One a week if you're really aggressive, and you might if it's really simple stuff. Then you got to look at your success. Look back where you were, where you're at, and where you're going. Realize that improvement comes every day. I have coaches too, trainers, consultants. They tell me 1%. I guess 1% over 100 days is 100%, right? The point is, you got to improve. Fail falling forward. I've heard that one too. That's a good one. But you gotta move. Keep moving. Free up your time. And one day, imagine you have the freedom to not call it your job anymore. It's your business that you own, and you're the CEO. It comes with building a company that works without you. And that's what we're here to do. If you feel that you need some help doing that, in the show notes below, there's a link to a free 30-minute consultation. I'll be happy to talk to you about it, just like I do others. We can make that happen for you. Also, if you want to talk to other people, other contractors, business owners, go to our Hard Hat CEO Facebook group. They'll give you great information and some support. And I think sometimes that's more important than anything. It is Tuesday, and I'll see you again next Tuesday on another episode of Hard Hat CEO. We thank you for your time. God be with you till we meet again. Bye-bye.